Yes, we are, Donovan. I got to tell you something. I don't know that I've ever been more excited to start a show. No, it has nothing to do with Rico being on vacation. I thought Rico was fabulous yesterday. I will tell you, this is going to be, David, you know the commercials? And they show you the starving child from some far-flung nation, and they're like, hey, for 10 cents a day, you can feed little Bobby?
Yeah.
That's essentially Jim Costa. People, your responsibility is this. You have to make this topic work, or Jim will starve.
Wait, what?
As a show. No, I have never seen you, me, Kenny, collectively. I don't know if we've ever been more excited to do this topic because every syllable of our show meeting, the topic grew. The life force grew. It's not a matter of if it can work. It has to work, or we wasted so much time and research and oxygen.
I still get to eat dinner, though, right? Like
No.
even if nobody calls.
No.
Like,
If this doesn't work, you get locked in a janitorial closet. This is exciting. Are you ready? I want you to lay this out.
how you living, Mike?
Hold on. I got you. Awesome. Because Pistons lost again. Awesome. Couldn't be better.
We've reached that point, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where the losing is the story.
Yes.
Where you're more invested in the car crash than if they would win one or two of these games.
Yes.
Like we are drawn to just how comically absurd 18 straight losses. And Mike, they're not facing everybody at their best. They faced half an NBA team last night and still lost by double digits.
It was awesome. So lay it out. Because when the coroner tells you they've ID'd the body, it's over.
When Wojo is telling you change is needed, it's long overdue.
Read it.
So we have some excerpts from Wojo's column in the Detroit News. The column headlined, Piston Misery Hits New Lows. Major changes have to happen.
This is a guy who Brady Hoke had already taken the San Diego State job, and he finally got around to saying Brady Hoke should be fired. This is the last guy in the world who will ever demand change.
Wojo's column. The Pistons roster is so disjointed, so haphazardly built that this is what you get. This is what Troy Weaver slapped together in his fourth season as GM. Barring a sudden turnaround, it should be his last season. Tom Gores, if he's still paying attention, must consider a regime change just a few years after Weaver started with such promise. The roster makeup devoid of a true point guard, dead-eye shooters, scoring wings devoid of any defensive disposition. Wojo took a hammer. Came out and said it's pathetic to say, but they could flirt with the NBA's all-time worst record of 9-73.
Think about what he just wrote there. One moment, Jim. Isolate this. Wojo, a man whose next big opinion will be his first. In writing, not an utterance on a radio show where he's said such things as this. No, in writing, with a serious tone, turned it into an editor that the Pistons could flirt with the NBA record for the worst record ever.
He's not wrong. And he goes on to say the Pistons franchise used to be the ultimate team, a collection of interchangeable pieces that won the hard way, even the right way. It seems a long time ago because it was an entire generation ago.
So what's the question? What do you want?
I got one more where he compares them to lawn furniture or living room furniture. He says the Pistons today look like out-of-place pieces like patio furniture strewn across the living room. Strewn, a good writer word.
Good word.
He says individually they have talent from Cade to Duren to Ivy to Thompson, but collectively they're non-functioning. So I want to know, are you like a sicko like me and like Mike, where you're more drawn to this sideshow car crash that you can't keep your eyes off of? Or are you like David, who's rubbing his eyes over there, disgusted, repulsed by the product?
I think
so
that's
where you
just
won't
because
even
he
watch.
ate 30 spicy nuggets.
Oh, it isn't because of that.
Okay.
It's because what the Pistons do to my insides. They're turning right now. I can't keep watching them. Can't keep doing it.
The Pistons have irritated David's colon.
So which camp are you in? 248-539-9797. You're more invested like a sicko, or you're repulsed, you can't stomach them.
Let me offer you this. because it's an add-on to what Jim's doing. If you are a Piston fan, you do not get a choice anymore. If you root for them to win, you're a moron. You have arrived at rarefied air. Everyone collectively in this town must root for this team to lose until or unless Tom Gores wakes up and cleans house. And let me be even more clear. It does not end with Troy Weaver. I want Arn Tellem in a space cannon to the moon. Tom Gores needs basically to deliver an Aaron Rodgers olive oil enema to this franchise. If you don't know who to hire, here's a hint, you don't. Go to Adam Silver with the help me, I'm poor routine, and they'll help you hire someone. But right here, Cookies, you know what I want for New Year's? 2-30.
It's possible. It's more than possible.
This team sits at 2-19. The record of the opponents they will face over the next 10 games is 106-83. I'm spitballing here, but I think the only team with an under 500 record is the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
You will play Orlando tomorrow. You will play Philly twice next week. You will play Indiana. Guys, the worst starts in NBA history, we've talked about it. 2-28 is the worst start in the history of this league. 2-28. We can get there. We can do this. And I think it's mandatory because you need to shame whatever Tom Gores is. You need to shame him to a point. They have to do something.
And guys, if you think, well, they're going to catch someone on a bad night, they can't possibly keep losing.
That was last night.
It's also several of the games they've already played over the last month and a half. Mike, the Wizards, just a bad basketball team. But even when they face the Hawks, no Trae Young. When they face the Cavaliers, no Mitchell. When they face the Suns, no Beal or Booker. Like, they've already faced everybody at their worst, depleted, missing 1 or 2 stars. And it doesn't matter because they're going to blow it in the fourth quarter again.
Desmond Bane put 50 on you last night. Desmond Bane.
Yeah, and Monty Williams, we haven't even brought him up yet, but these weird 11-man rotations. Keeping Jaden Ivey on the bench the entire opening quarter of the game, going large stretches without Cade or Bogdanovich on the floor, not one of either on the floor.
At what point in the postgame are you going to turn into Brockmeyer and just lose your mind? Like, I'm waiting for it. I want a full Hank Azaria, you and a loud blazer, just drinking and hurling F-bombs on the postgame. Can you do that for us?
I don't think I can do the last part, but the rest of it, sure.
I want to hear from the people. 248-539-9797. Jim and I are on the same page here. This is must-see TV, and I am in the active rooting position of they must lose. They must. But, David, you have a different take. You're not there yet. You're actually just saying, I'm pretending they don't exist.
I am pretending they don't exist, and I cannot root for losing. I just can't, because I don't think the change is going to happen. I don't think no matter how many games they lose.
It's the quickest path to change.
I get it, but when is it going to happen? Are we going to have to go 2-80 for it to happen?
No, hold on, David. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. We just need to lose the next game. That's it.
One game at a time.
One quarter at a time, one half at a time.
One turnover at a time.
One day at a time. David, the point I'm making is no team in NBA history has gone winless in back-to-back months. Now, we've already accomplished no-win November. We are approaching mid-December. It is not beyond the realm of possibility that they will be at December 15th, 16th, winless. David, if you don't win a basketball, they are 4-45 in their last 49 basketball games in year 4 of a rebuild. If you are 2-30 on New Year's Day, you don't think Johnny Goodtimes, and I ain't talking about this one, I'm talking about T-shirt Tom. You don't think you'd be forced to do something?
I don't trust that it will happen. And
then we go on a march to be 2-40. But you as a fan, if you care about this town, all of you tell me how much you care about this city, how much pride you have. Detroit versus everybody. Right now, it is all of us versus this team. They must lose. In the words of Al Davis, they must go down, and they must go down hard. They have to keep losing.
Just lose, baby, lose.
Just lose, baby.
They're well on their way. They don't need our help.
Yes, they do.
They are well on their way.
They need the power of prayer.
I may have to add that.
Hold on. You want to go to the dark side for a minute with me?
Yeah, sure, why not?
David, would you pray for 2-30?
Don't do this, Dave.
Would you ask your Lord above? It doesn't take a lot of effort, God. This team already sucks on their own accord. But if there's even a 1% chance that divine intervention could get them to 2-30, I'm not asking you to pray for Tom Gores to make a decision. David, would you just have a quick word with JC and just, hey, if you're not too busy with like world hunger or other things.
Or peace.
Could you just make sure a free throw rim's out? Maybe a bad traveling call. Maybe a tweaked ankle. Nothing serious. Would you pray for 2-30 if I told you Arn and Troy Weaver were putting a U-Haul?
I need JC to tell me that they're putting a U-Haul, and then I'll go from there.
How does that work? Can you take us into the inner monologue with God?
I don't know. I just got to pray for it.
It's like when they mic up the coaches in the timeout. Here's David mic'd up.
Detroit deserves winning. And if losing is what gets it done, then yes.
Would you say that holding a rosary?
Please. No.
Please.
I just hold my phone. Is
Listen,
that good enough?
People, whether you're religious or not, we need karma. We need vibes. We need prayer. Jim and I are united like a radio version of Voltron. We have arrived at must-lose TV. That you tune into the games because they're so bad, they're so egregious. It's such a folly. You can't turn away.
Like, Mike, if they won one of every 5 or 6 games,
I'd be mad. I've arrived at I want 2-30.
Right.
And I want to frame it and put it in my office.
Right. My point is, one of every 5 or 6 isn't a story.
No.
This level of terrible is a story.
Yes. The goal of this is I want Adam Silver to step in. Respectfully, back-to-back seasons of the Dallas Mavericks in 93 and 94 of 2-28, you become a parody. Donald Sterling, you sent me something last night. Full credit. I have been comping Tom Gores to Donald Sterling in many ways. But the winning percentages of Donald Sterling's stewardship of the Clippers and Tom Gores' stewardship of the Pistons is identical. 371. Courtesy of the Jim Costa Stats Incorporated.
If you want a comparison, Dolan's record with the Knicks is even better than both of them. And he is one of the most panned, hated, failed owners in all of sports.
Writer word, reviled.
Sure.
248-539-9797. Get involved. I got one open phone line. Grab it. David is actively praying right now. We're on a drive, people. You know what I want for Christmas? 2-30. Someone wake up Tom. Maybe he's got the blackout shades. He's got the little sleep mask on. We need his butler to go in there and go, Mr. Gores, you have a phone call. And it's the city of Detroit. Like, enough. You made your money. Sell the team. Let's start over. But I'm all in. I can't get it.